In this LinkedIn video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the experience section in your profile for more than just jobs. This is Lisa Kanda with LK Advisors, and I am bringing you these tips in order to help you expand your LinkedIn network, grow your business, increase your connections, and increase your visibility overall. And I hope this is helpful. If it is helpful, please make sure you put that in the comments below. So let's get started. I'm on my LinkedIn homepage, and we're going to go over to our profile. Once we get to our profile, we're just going to scroll down to your experience section. Once you get there, you'll note that, of course, your latest experience that you want at the very top should be there. And just as far as a little ninja trick, if you want to move them around, here's where you move them, right here at that little hamburger, and you get the cross. You can move things around, and I'll show you that in just a second. Here are the different types of experience I have added that are a little bit different than just a job. So recently, I relaunched my podcast with my co-host, and I wanted to add that to my experience. So I just added that here in May of 2020, and I would go ahead and you would actually put on the little plus here. I'm going to show you what I have here in this one when I go to edit. And of course, I gave the title. It's required if it has the asterisk. I titled what the actual company was, which is Business Dig Podcast. So it doesn't have to be a company within LinkedIn. Now, if it is a company in LinkedIn and you can link to it, that's even better. But here's the trick. Most people think they have a company name there. It can actually be a subtype of company, if you want to call it that. My Business Dig Podcast is its own entity of a job, correct? And I'm a podcaster in that. Now, of course, there's no location because it is online. I am currently working in that role. So I put the start date and the year. And of course, it gives you other options here that you can look at if you want to update. And then here is where the description is. This is really important. So you want to add a description to that particular update to make sense. It also asks you here if you want to update your industry or your headline, and we don't need to do that right now. But the important part here is if you have any media, you want to add it. So because this is a podcast, I have 3 recent podcasts that I wanted to add. So I just really added the links to those YouTube videos. And another important piece here, they ask you if you want to share this with your network. I typically keep this toggled off, but depending on what you are adding, it may be helpful to you to turn this on. So if you do that, then it will be shared within your feed and your connections will see that. Like I said, I tend to turn it off, but it really is a case-by-case basis if you want that information shared. And then make sure you hit save. Perfect. And that's exactly how you do it. Now, some other things that you can add here. In this case, I have that I am a social media keynote speaker. I also am an instructor and a consultant to the Small Business Development Center. So these are other types of positions I have, not exactly related to the main position that I have within my company. And that is how you expand this. So if you have, maybe if you're currently working at a company, but you've been added to as an advisor role or on a specific committee that's outside of the realm of some of the experience you have, but really shows another skill that you have that you want to highlight, you could add that in your experience section. So I just want you to think outside the box when it comes to your experience. How can you add it? And of course, it doesn't have to be a current one. I am showing you current ones I'm adding now because it adds to my current skill set. But you can definitely add this into past experience you may have had. So if it's something you did in the past, you can clearly add that in with your beginning and end dates to that experience. So it's just not limited to this. Another little tip I wanted to give you, I mentioned, is moving them around. So once you add it in, especially if you add it to your current positions, it's automatically going to default to the top, and you may not want that. So in this case, maybe I want this one to show. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that up and leave it just like that. And see how that moved that around? So you can do that as well. I hope this tip was helpful. If it was, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also go ahead and leave a comment below. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next tip.